Good morning, and welcome to the Women's Coffee Club, everyone. We created this club to provide a safe space for women to share and inspire each other. So we're so grateful to see all of you here. Happy holidays. This morning, we were supposed to have Marla. Marla and I were supposed to facilitate the discussion. It's a reflection for 2023 and lessons learned, but we can do this on our own. And then Omeka will close out the meeting by doing her drumming celebration. So looking forward to that. So with that, I think the questions that I have in my mind is like, have you have you accomplished what you wanted to accomplish in 2023? Have you done everything you wanted to do? And if not, um, like, what are you planning to do differently? And what what are the lessons learned? So I think we just kind of open it up for a discussion. I mean, really, Kim, I know you wanted to work with athletes or doing coaching for athletes. You want to share about your kind of 2023 reflection and how did you end up changing to that? Because you were something else before, but I think it'll be interesting to just kind of reflect and what you learned from all this.
Yeah, so I've changed from before. I've changed I don't know how many times in the last few years. But yeah, I've just I don't know 4 months ago or so kind of came back. I'm still doing some of the work I've been doing before. Like I still day trade, but I'm doing that from myself. I do that on the side, and that's just an additional um interest and pleasure of mine that I keep going. I've learned a lot, and yeah, I don't want to let that education that I've had go by the wayside. So we still do that. So that's what I've been doing the last 18 months. But in the last 4 months, I have decided to kind of re-energize, bring back a whole body of work that I love, and just bring it to the forefront again. And that's my work in Art of Feminine Presence, which is a whole embodiment, it's a set of embodiment practices. And I have a circle of women I'm working with now, more, how teaching these body embodiment practices, um, just to help with everything from not getting distracted by things in life that are bothersome, having better conversations in relationship, being more confident and more settled and grounded in our lives and what we're doing in our business, anything in our businesses and our jobs, all of that. Uh, so anyway, I started that a few months ago, and an interest of mine, really wanting to have fun with it, is to work with athletes, to work with female athletes. I'm a tennis player, and um, well, I've done various athletic things over the years, my whole life, but in the last 20 years, I've been a competitive tennis player, and these practices, these embodiment practices, have been very helpful for me in that context with my just performance, my performance on court, and having more fun with it. So I decided I wanted to teach these practices in the context of performance on, starting with on the tennis court because that's who my community is and women I know locally, and then going from there, seeing where it all ends up. So my goal is to have a group coaching program with athletes that's just a ongoing enrolling, whatever, continuous enrollment into a group coaching program.
Like a membership program, basically, where
Yeah,
you
not a well, I mean, kind of, although not, I mean, maybe, but not a membership like, pay $20 a month and I'll post some things and have some live videos and all of that with more tips in that. But the actual program, like a contained 6 weeks, women participate for 6 weeks, once a week, and they can continue to after beyond that 6 weeks if they want or not, and just have it be a continuing enrollment. So women are coming in on the sixth on their first week, and it's other participants sixth week. There's a lot of the same practices you repeat and you go over, and there's the practice, 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 practice to be able to master. So it's an easy program to have as a continuing enrollment. Anyway, that's what I
That
envision for.
sound awesome. You know what I like about you is that you're very consistent. Like when once you decide this is what you want to do, and then you can just kind of go at it, you know. I know, you know, we go through life and we have setback, and then you just like feel like, oh, you know, this is not working or whatever. But I just love seeing you, that consistency and determination and to move forward with whatever it is idea that you have because this is new idea and we all kind of go into that mode where we find something, you know, first of all it's like, do you have clarity of what you really want? Do you have clarity? And it's not always easy because you think that something is clear, but then you start doing it. Remember, Kim, with that crypto thing, we the school, you know, the academy, and then you know, halfway, you said, is this really the right thing for me? Why am I doing this? Kind of questioning yourself. And then, but I think the point is, it's okay to do that. It's okay to examine and question yourself as long as you continue with it. And it's okay if you end up changing the path. You know, you've changed several times. I keep changing. And I think all of us is evolving. And I think, you know, it's just part of the process. So as long as you don't give up and you just keep going, and I think that's awesome. Thank you, Kim, for your
Yeah.
share. Carol, go ahead.
And this is what we have accomplished in 2023.
Yeah, have you done everything that you wanted to do? And then, you know, it's a reflection, kind of like what have you accomplished and what have you learned from it, and
Oh,
what would you do differently
okay.
moving forward?
Okay. Thank you for that question, Rini, and thank you for this meeting that we have before, just before the holidays, which everybody is already in sleeping mode, or they're sort of in shutdown mode regarding business and all of that stuff. Um, so 2023, I've been in the Awaken Business School. So Kim, you may recognize that as Rachel Jane Groover's business program. So I've been in Rachel Jane Groover's program. I am also an Art of Feminine Presence licensed instructor. Um, I what I learned, I'm going to start there rather than did I accomplish my goals, because I really wasn't clear. So you have a good point, Rini, about clarity. But what I learned is that self-mastery precedes business mastery. If we can master ourselves and create consistency and commitment to our self-care, and I don't even want to say self-care goals, because you could have a goal that's like, I want to lose 10 pounds. Well, you're not going to lose 10 pounds unless you can create this consistency of of actions and behavior on a daily basis. So I just went all the way back to basics and created a protocol for myself, morning, noon, and night. That I don't know if you've read there's a book I can recommend, the Miracle Morning. And yes, right. So when I first came across the Miracle Morning years ago, I tried to do it the way the author said. You do it for an hour, wake up at 5 and take an hour and do your savers, which is silence, which is um, meditation, affirmations, visualization, exercise, reading, and journaling. So when I tried to do that exactly the way the owner said, it just didn't work for me. Just didn't work for me. And in pursuing my business goals, what I realized, what I learned at the end of the year, toward the end of the year, was I was putting business ahead of personal self-care. So there was a resentment of, I don't have enough time, blah, 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 and blah, 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 blah. So I reversed it. I put self-care ahead, because if we can commit to ourselves, our health, and let's face it, our energy is our fuel to do what we need to do in life from morning until night. And we need that fuel to fuel our goals and not burn ourselves out. So that is definitely what I have learned, and I've been successful in the last few months in doing all of that: meditation, affirmations, visualization, exercise, reading. I'll stop in the middle of the day and read for 20 minutes, and I'm getting through books that are changing my life. So I think that's my major thing. I don't know if I answered all of your questions, Riny,
No, that's this is something personal, whatever it is what you're doing. I think sometimes for me the danger of um doing all that is as a way to for me. I'm not saying you, because I think it's true that self-care should precede should you should do that first before you take care of this other thing. But sometimes for me, when I do stuff like that and I thought of that, it becomes like a procrastination where I consume content. I continually attend different masterminds and go to this, go to that, do this, do that, um, instead of doing the thing that I need to do
absolutely,
to
yes,
get to where I wanted to be. I would keep myself busy with all this other thing because I'm doing it, I'm learning, but you keep learning. You keep consuming content, but like what is I think there has to be a balance between
yes,
um, learning. Yes, you have to learning, you need to hone your skills, especially if what you wanted to do, it's not something where you need to learn that because you don't have the skill. So you do need to attain the skill and improve all that, but just be careful that not to use that as an excuse to do this other thing. The main thing is your business, but then you have the self-care, but then you keep doing the self-care and consuming. I'm not criticizing you. Each person is different. This is just a conversation that for me, I end up consuming, going from mastermind to mastermind to mastermind, and then I don't have
yeah,
I'm not doing the thing that I needed to do for the business or whatever.
yeah.
I'm retired,
Well,
so I can do.
I see, at the mastermind and blah, blah, blah. I see that as separate from self-care for sure. But I think you can apply the same discipline and consistency that you achieve in self-care to things like making your 3 sales calls per day. Did you make your 3 calls per day? Check. Did you make your two Facebook posts per week? Check, check. Did you, how much time did you spend on your YouTube channel? How much time are you going to spend on your YouTube channel per day? Right? Check, check, check. So if you can, it's the same process. If you can follow through on your self-care and develop those skills and strengths, you can take that same kind of consistency, strength, and that you apply to self-care to your, you know, did I complete my marketing message, essential marketing message this week? Check, 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 check.
Yeah,
So that's what I'm
absolutely.
saying. Yeah.
As long as you're doing both,
Yes.
that you're not using that other thing as a crutch for
Absolutely.
not doing.
Definitely.
Yeah, no, thank you for that. Sue?
Oh, hey, the non-mastermind person of the group is here to speak. Yes. My goals were probably quite different from yours because I'm not tied into the mastermind program. Mine were more business and personal related, although I guess that does overlap at the same level. Business goals for me were I've been working really hard over the last couple of years to bring more balance. I love working. I love my job. So it's sometimes really hard for me to step away from it. And I've really been working hard the last couple of years to not get too crazy and be really selective about what clients I take. For those who don't know me, I'm an interior designer and I'm quite sought after in this area. So I get a lot of calls and just being super particular who I'm going to take these days. And it's not just about who has the most money. It's really comes down to only taking nice clients. And that's been my sole goal. Only work with people who are kind. I don't strictly need the money anymore. I'm just still doing it because I enjoy it. And so really, really pinpointing who's a kind person. And that's the person I want to work with. So that's kind of been my refocus of my business. Started last year, but really I've done a much better job this year, really dialing that in. And then on the personal level, much like you were saying, Carol, just trying to do better with the self-care. Because I enjoy my work, sometimes I blur the lines between job and self-care. And I've been trying to really work hard on separating those out. For example, this past weekend, I took a long weekend down in the Bay Area for my birthday. I'm a December birthday. I'm like a week before Christmas. If I get a few hours celebration, I'm like, oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I've kind of always been satisfied with that. Like, oh, that's how it is. Hey, here's your birthday Christmas present. Every December birthday, especially later December, closer to the Christmas or right after, knows how that's just how it is. And I'm like, no, this year my sister's like, why don't you come down? There's this amazing ballet in San Francisco. Let's just go. And I'm like, yeah, well, let's do that. And took a long 3-day weekend, got to see my son, my sister and brother-in-law, and they just spoiled me, went out for lovely dinners and strolled around the city, which I love San Francisco. It's such a beautiful city. And despite what the news media says, it's sparkling clean and a whole lot safer than Portland, Oregon, the city by me. So I just really enjoyed it, and then came back and my mother had a birthday dinner for me. Some friends had me over, went out for dinner with other friends. I literally spread my birthday over 5 days. I don't think I've even had 5 hours before. This was like, wow. And I liked it. Not that I expect 5 days every year, but I have to say that that was a level of self-care I hadn't given myself probably ever. So it was kind of like, ooh, that was a nice box to check before the year ended. So yeah,
Yeah.
those have been my 2 main goals: separating out work from personal care and really focusing on kind clients for working.
That's
Since I
awesome.
do it because I love it. Why put up with the stinkers? Not that
I
I
love it.
love stinkers. I'm just,
I
yeah.
love it. Especially you're at the states where the money is not as important, get good clients. Why not? So Marla, what happened? But anyway,
I'm
Marla,
sorry. I got. I love this thing about self-care, but I've been frustrated sometimes with the tile floors I have and cleaning. So my request for Christmas was I did get an appliance. I got a steam floor thing, and I was steaming my bathroom floor. And it felt so good. And I'm not someone who loves to clean, but it was like, oh, it just felt like you gotta. So I wasn't paying attention to the clock. So my apologies.
So Marla, what we're doing right now is we're just going around each person telling us if they've done everything they wanted to do, what they accomplished in 2023, and lessons learned, and what would you do differently this coming year. But basically we're just kind of sharing our story, what we've been doing in 2023. So there are 2 more people that I'd like to finish up before I turn it to you, Marla, if that's okay. So Olmeca, I see that you're ready. Look how beautiful you are with your outfit.
Yes, it's not a bandana. It's like, okay. But yeah, after the dog walk, it's like, okay, just getting used to the 25, 28-degree weather in the morning. I'm like, okay, it's time to wake up. Yeah, so wow, the year has gone by and there is no time and it's not really going by, but yeah, it's been interesting times in the Jones household, and just really getting more comfortable with being a caretaker, and really, and I'm still in denial, I guess, being responsible for someone else's um care and life and schedule and food and health. And yeah, it's interesting. So I'm glad that I have studied the human body and gone through my ins and outs, ups and downs, or whatever healing journey, that I can share that practice those practices with my mom, and see her have a pretty healthy physical body, and just working on the brain. I'm like, the brain is just so fascinating, all the different parts of the brain and how just everything is connected. And yeah, what we do um, and what we consume, be it TV or friends or um, propaganda from the media, or what, what we consume, how that affects our lives. And yeah, so it's been an interesting year.
Thank you.
I keep a smile on my face no matter what. And my mom, we went for a walk for a whole, well, we walked like a mile the other day, and I was like, oh my God. And I kept asking her, are you okay? You okay? But asking somebody with dementia if they're okay, I mean, they could say anything. So it was kind of like, okay, it's a little fear there, but we made it through. And yeah, just looking forward to taking care of myself better and getting some massages and doing more exercise, um, and working on my body. I got my some crystal bowls, and I finally unpackaged them, so I got the whole set. So I'm looking forward to working with those, and just working with sound and energy and light and more love in
Olmeca.
2024.
Yes, exactly. So appreciate you taking care of your mom. I mean, that's such a blessing because it's not easy to do, and you're just such a trooper with your attitude and everything. Just always love seeing you. Thank you for your share, Omeka.
Yeah, thank you.
And
All right.
and Dana, I know you have to go to work here soon. You want to share about your 2023?
Oh my gosh, sorry. I have a 4-year-old and she's we're trying to find a movie. Okay, sweetheart, 1 second, okay. Yeah, so I mean, so many great shares. Thank you everyone. I think something that stood out to me was Riny, when you and I think it was Carol were discussing, self-care and what should come first and all that. I think that's like such a struggle for so many of us. And I do that. Like I go down the rabbit hole of things, it's like, I'm either going to focus on work and I'm going to just like burn myself out. Or I'm going to focus on self-care and I'm never going to make it to work, So, and I think another important thing to point out is like, is like balance, finding that balance. It's so hard. Here you go, honey. We all want to do it, but finding the balance and, that sweet spot or whatever, and then trying to, and also being able to ask for help. Like I'm in my 40s and I have a lot of I do hair and I have a lot of clients in their 20s, and like my business is doing wonderful, but yes, honey, I'll give me 5 minutes. Okay. My business is doing wonderful, but there's things I didn't like. I grew up like with the Oregon Trail. I didn't grow up with an iPhone in my hand, so like, I don't know how to use TikTok. I just, and I have clients though, that'll show me and they'll walk me through it, and I'm visual. So like, just show me one time and I got it, but if I don't ask for help, I'm never going to learn this stuff. And I'm one of these people that it's really hard for me to ask for help because, I've had to take care of myself my entire life. And so I just figure things out, But if I just ask someone for help, I can learn something in 5 minutes that might take me like 2 hours if I try to, do it myself. So like I could help Riny, let's say, with like creating a YouTube channel or something. But Riny could help me with like, she has a wealth of knowledge that I don't know. She's old. She's, got 20 years on me. Right. So like, those kinds of things, like being able to reach out to people and say, hey, you have something that I want, and I have something that you want, let's like collaborate on this. So that's stuff that I'm trying to do, just like ask for help. To be honest, the beginning of my 2023 was very rough. Ivy, can you turn that down just a little bit? It was tough. Hold on just a second. I apologize, you guys. Give me 1 second, honey. Okay. Yeah, give me 5 minutes, please. Okay. Yes. Sorry. It was tough. I went through a state. I made a bunch of changes. I moved my salon location. There's a bunch that would happen, and I kind of like fell into a little bit of depression in the beginning of the year, thinking that I had like screwed everything up. Like I made all these wrong choices, and it ended up like, I'm at the end of 2023 now, and it's been like the best year of my life. It's amazing how perspective can turn things around. As I was in my head and, having a history of, anxiety and depression, and been in lots of toxic relationships, and battled alcoholism. I've been in recovery for 3 years. I can spin, and I can like blame myself. I can be really hard on myself. I can be a victim, all that stuff. And I just, had to like dig myself out. And once I changed my perspective and just kind of put one foot in front of the other, like the things I've accomplished this year, I'm like, I have to pinch myself. I'm buying my first home. I'm like helping other women. I'm, empowering. I've become empowered, which allows me to empower other people. My relationship with my daughter, I mean, it's always been wonderful, but like, I'm present with her. I know when to put the phone down. I know when to take a break. I still burn the candle at both ends because I'm a, single mom of a toddler, but, like these blessings keep falling into my lap, and I'm just like so grateful. And I think it's because, I've known when to ask for help. And because I've felt that pain, I wanted to get out of that pain, things like that. Like sometimes we have to learn. I always say you can't, nothing grows without water. I cried a lot beginning of the year thinking that I had just destroyed everything. And now I shed like very happy tears. It's so important, I think, for just to, let it out and surround ourselves with like-minded women. So I love this group. I love hearing all of your stories. I admire you, all of you. And so again, thank you, Riny, for inviting me here. I know Marla's, needs to share her stuff. So, so yeah, thank you ladies so much. And I'll pass the mic. The little one's calling me again anyway. So.
Dana, I so appreciate you. Dana is my, in a way, it's like my daughter-in-law because her brother married my daughter. So she's like my daughter-in-law. So she's so amazing, being so strong, a single mom, doing all the stuff on her own and making decisions. It's not easy, it's just, I admire her strength, her courage, and her kindness. She's helping other women too. So Dana, so blessed to have you in our lives. I know that. So with that, Marla, I know you have this backward journal or whatever that you wanted to share with the ladies, but we're talking about reflection for 2023 and how to move forward for 2024. So take it.
Well, I don't know that I have any good bites of wisdom, but I was sitting here last week, and I have a lot of friends who are in the online business and marketing business, and they're all hustling for their classes they're going to have out in January. And I have something I'll put out in January also. But how many of the people that we depend on to fill those classes are running around with a conversation in their head called, I haven't done enough. And I thought, let's have a backwards journal. And so I specifically created, I don't know that they're the greatest questions, but I got a few people into conversations with it, and it was for my study group. But I had them take 3 questions apiece on looking at their risks that they took this year. So sometimes we talk about self-care, but if we're building a business, we should celebrate the risks that we took. And so that we remind ourselves that, yeah, I did that. You know, I jumped off the cliff without a rope or whatever it was, but you did it. And what were your action choices? Because there's so many conversations going on there in our lives, everybody's lives at some point, where we need to, we should, we could, or we get hung up. And in one of my discussion groups, one of the women was just starting out on this new venture in her life. She's always been in IT. Now she's trying to do something with network marketing. And she was just using the word need a lot. And I said, and all of a sudden I got this light bulb went off in my head. And I said, when we talk about need, we keep ourselves in our limbic brain, our fight or flee brain. The only thing left for us is to get the prefrontal cortex active. And the only word that's going to activate that is choice. And so it's a long move from here to here. And then, I did my brain goes everywhere, right? So I did a lot of reflection on how the whole network marketing business and online marketing business and no diss on any of it, but how it's created to function. It's created to function by letting everybody know they have a pain, they have a need, and to move forward. Well, my question is, every one of us should always say, but do I have a pain anymore? Or do I just have a dust bunny in the corner that I need to figure out how to sweep up and fix it and just move on? Or do I, do I see everybody else doing big things, but am I the one that wants to do it that big? At 75, I don't want to do it that big anymore. I already did it that big once and burned myself out at 38. So no, that's not on my list right now. But so it was about just how do we be smart? So reflection at the end of every year to me is, how do I want to be smart with myself next year? So you got to go back and you got to look at what you did, because it's like history. What do I want to keep? What really worked and I want to continue? What didn't work? What was maybe like a nice little experiment, but no, it's not for me. And then what is it that, what value did I personally get this year out of all my actions? So we talk about self-care, that's one action, but I get great satisfaction too when I see the light bulbs go off in any of my sales sessions, or people, find that they've had a conversation going in their head about selling that just has no validity when they really learn how human behavior works. So that was what prompted me to do that. So what risks did you take that you should celebrate? Review plans that you have at the first of the year, and do any of those need to continue into next year? It's okay to make changes or new choices, or they could just be 1 degree of a shift. So what I realize is we get into our daily routines, we move forward, we keep rolling. We have our to-do lists, and the to-do lists sometimes drive our lives. And so we had some good conversations about that. And I'm going to add one piece, and then I'd love to have input. When I went back and I'm looking at all the things that have disrupted my thinking over the last couple of years trying to get into network marketing. See, I've always been in sales and education. So when you're in sales, you're in the solution field all the time. It's not about the sale, but it's like, I got to provide a solution. And then if that works, then we create that and we take it forward. So I've always played in the solution side, not in the pain side. So I got that distinction sometime this year. It's like, oh, this is why that's so awkward for me. Because I don't think about someone's pain. I think about what's going on. What's your hang up? Is there a solution? Do you want my help? Let's go from there. And it's subtle, but it's there. So a lot of the courses we see out there online, they're like, go from this to this, go from this to this, struggle to warrior, whatever the dichotomy is that they want to create. And I thought, why don't we all just play right here? Wherever we are, that's our best plane. And when something doesn't work, it's like a blip. It's like, oops, okay, let me go fix that. Let me come back. Let me go fix that. Let me come back. Let me go fix that. So we have a cultural mindset online that's a subtle woven theme through everything that, people are trying to be helpful. I'm not dissing this. This is me. You can take me to task. People are being helpful. I get it. They've been told that this is how you market. But at the same time, we're culturizing everyone to think that they should always have a problem, that everybody always has a problem. What if we didn't have any problems? What if we didn't think we had a problem? And we just wanted to do more of what we felt good with and less of what didn't make us feel good. So anyway, that's my soapbox.
I love that, Marla. And I especially love the word that you used, choice. See, I think that every day, with everything that we are evaluating, there are the pros and cons.
Yeah.
Including some of the thing you call problem. It's like, it's your perspective. Is that really a problem? Or is that something you think it's a problem?
Or did somebody else tell you it was a problem? Are you just getting into the common conversation, not your conversation? Because we all know life is full of uncertainty. And really, I think when we hear people talk about things, it's like this uncertainty, which is part of our human environment, then that's what we have to embrace. And what we have to know is we have to make our best choice now. And that wasn't a good choice. Tomorrow we look at it, we go, that wasn't the best choice I could have made. Well, then tomorrow you make the better choice. See, and I think I got some of this because of the career that I chose in the beginning of my life. I was a property manager, managing 3,000 doors. When you get a call for a plumbing, like a flood, and then a fire, and you're making these kinds of decisions, and you make the best decisions you can, just like a firefighter does at that point in time. And then only tomorrow do you see if there could have been a better decision or something additional you could do. So I just finally got into that mentality of, okay, I made a choice. How did it work? I don't quite like where it got me. Okay, what's my next choice? And so I'm not like saying that's a great place to be, but I felt relief when I was able to recognize that I could do that because it just lets me drive me.
Yeah, I really think it's a matter of perspective. It's like I told the story on post my Facebook that I went to Vegas for our anniversary and then my wallet was stolen. Well, it kind of ruined your mood. It's like, oh, you feel violated, and then we went back and ended up looking places, to the restaurant, to the show, to see if I left it there. It wasn't, and somebody took it. But it's kind of ruined your mood. And then I went back to the hotel. I had to cancel. This was like late at night. I had to cancel all the credit cards and all the stuff that I was worrying about. And I thought to myself, this is going to ruin our anniversary, for sure, if I start feeling like a victim. I have the choice, okay, what is the scheme of thing here? How much money am I losing? What am I losing? What is the perspective? And I think so I kind of breathe and just stay calm and say, I need to evaluate this. Is this really a big deal or is it not a big deal? So I just kind of took it and said, okay, it's several $100s. Okay, so I have to cancel credit cards, and so I have to get a new license, blah, blah, blah. But really, this is our anniversary. So, okay, just set that aside. So I did what I had to do, but I just stay calm. And I think it's just like life is about an awareness. If you're conscious about all of these stuff and you're aware and like I said before, the pros and cons, like, okay, it's just going to ruin my life or I'm going to, or just let it go. And that's what I did. But I think that a lot of time, Marla, you were talking about all these different things. You do this, you do that. I mean, on a daily basis, you have all these choices and things that happen to you, setbacks and everything. You're gonna let it happen to you, or are you just gonna be in control and take control of it? So
Yeah.
let's open it up and let everyone kind of chime in on these thoughts.
Well,
Kim? Okay, go ahead, Marla. I think you
I
want
just
to
want to
bring
add one thing. I think that to add to the conversation, if we just, every time we caught ourselves saying need or should or could, we say, what do I choose?
Love
And
that.
I learned that a long time ago, and that's, I think I constantly have to practice it. It doesn't mean I can't go to any of those places. Perfection is not the thing, but what do I choose really will shift the head quickly.
Yeah,
And
exactly. How do you respond to things? So Kim, go ahead.
Well, I just commented in there. I think what you said, Riny, was just that really struck a chord with me. That, you know, life is about awareness. It's about awareness, and then adding what Marla just said, a choice. I mean, but yeah, you can't deliberately choose or intentionally choose without being aware of something somehow. You know, like I think awareness comes first. And I don't, yeah, I just think that's, yeah, it really is about choice. That's what we are making is choices.
And
You
I
know, and
think to be,
then,
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
well, then I get, all of what's going on now in Israel and the Gaza Strip and all that. And I think, are those people exercising choice? Like just civilian people just living in, then I think of extreme situations like that. It's like, is life for them about choice? I don't know. I don't know. So I start going down that rabbit hole of thought and think, well, maybe it's only when we have privilege and lifestyles and houses over our heads and we're not being bombed every second or whatever that we can choose, deliberately choose. I don't know. It
Well,
makes me go that direction. It makes me think of that.
some
It's
of
like,
them,
really?
yeah, some of them are choosing survival, and then some of them are choosing power. And the thing is, it's just a mix of choices.
Yeah.
But you're right, when we're stuck in the limbic brain, the need to survive, choice is
Yeah.
not that readily available except the choice to survive.
Yeah.
And
And
so,
you're right.
and that's, so it is a good conversation, but what I believe is that there's a collective consciousness. And the more of us that can feel powerful in our independent choices, and the more people even in that environment can feel powerful in their choices to thrive and survive, then at on some collective level, we're helping those people pull forward.
Hmm. I believe in that collective consciousness too, though. Yeah. Well, that's good.
Thank you for your share, Kim. Sue,
That was
what are
good.
your
I'm
thoughts?
thinking.
Yeah, I love this conversation. Sue, go ahead.
Yeah, don't get me going down the what's happening in Gaza, because yeah, I have a lot of really serious thoughts on that. And no, I don't think those people, a lot of them have a choice, but we are the privileged ones. I mean, it is a privilege to be able to make choices in your life. And if you don't think it's a privilege, then you're missing something. It's an absolute privilege to be in the position where you can say, wow, what can I do to make my life better? Because there are people that just, yeah, their life does not allow that. But that aside, for us in our privileged situation that we're in to make choices, we can't, the should have, could have, would haves of life are the quickest way to paralysis. If you overthink everything, every mistake you think you possibly made, you're going to paralyze yourself. But reframing and saying, well, okay, that didn't go the way I wanted it to. What can I do different next time? What can I learn from this? And then you've empowered yourself. It's just such a simple little paradigm shift that you make in your mind. And I've been doing it for years now. I used to should have, could have, would have myself. But no more. No, what can I learn? Where's the growth opportunity? How can I then take what I've learned and help other people not make some of the mistakes that I've made in the past? Because you grow more from your mistakes than from your successes. So always. So that's kind of my thoughts on that. I could kind of ramble on. I'll stop myself from rambling. We're getting low on time.
Yeah, we're getting low on time, but I was gonna say that I learned from Jack Canfield in his book Principle of Success that you take 100% responsibility. Oftentimes you don't have control about what happened, but you do have control about how you respond to things, regardless of your situation. And so anyway, just to add to that, Carol, I know we're running low on time here, and we still wanted Omeka to close this out with her drumming.
I just, I just echo what Riny, you said, Marla, Sue, Kim, everyone, that it's about choice, and it comes down to being really present, being so present that you can distance yourself from a knee-jerk reaction, distance yourself from being reactive, right? And then know that there is a choice, that you can just say, hey, on to the next, whatever it may be. So
Yeah, thank you for that. Absolutely. I'm gonna ask Dana, and then we were gonna ask Omeka to say the last thing, and then she could do her drumming thing because we're getting really close on time, and then turn it back to Marla to close this out. So Dana, do you have any comments?
I'll just make it really quick just to piggyback on everything. Yeah, I've had to learn this year just to kind of like know when to not insert my opinion, because I always think I'm right, And so it's like, okay, so sometimes it's just better just to keep my mouth shut and like listen and take it all in, and absorb, instead of being like having to have the last word or having to be the right one, or and that comes, I can apply that to relationships. I can apply that to conversations with clients. Like, it's actually hurt me to kind of keep beating the dead horse, or keep having to have the last word. And then if our opinions are different, like, how's that going to benefit anybody in any way, right? So I've learned some lessons with that. I've lost some clients because our political, we had political differences, or differences on social matters, or whatever. And it's like, it doesn't matter. Like, you're not right, I'm not right. Like, we have different perspectives, we have different backgrounds and lives and beliefs, and that's okay. So I've just had to learn to do that this year, and it's helped me a lot, like a lot, because I'm not always right. Sometimes I'm, it's just different, right? We're all just different. So just, shutting my mouth sometimes and listening and absorbing what other people have to give to me, because everybody has something to share and gain from each other. And, just having respect and being humble, and sometimes being quiet, and knowing when, when to insert my opinion and when to maybe not. So thank you for letting me share that.
Thank you, Dana. Omeka, so we're gonna have you share what do you want to share and then do your drumming thing, and then turn it back to Marla to close this out. Thank you, everyone. This has been a wonderful conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, choices is a beautiful thing. I think everybody has a choice. Yeah, some kind of choice. I mean, that survival thing is real. There's people here that are in New Jersey being flooded out, and like, there's all kind of things. People in the snow, and yeah, there's lots of choices. But anyway, yeah.
Omeka is known for her drumming, and we're gonna ask her to help us celebrate the close of 2023 with her drumming, and then I'll send it back to Marla to close this out. Thank you,
Can you
Omeka.
pin her, Rini? Can you pin her to the screen, Omeka? Or not?
Oh,
Or yeah, maybe it doesn't matter if she's going.
Yeah,
I can just speak her.
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah,
Is it? Can you hear me?
yeah, yeah.
Okay. I had the
Okay.
original sound thing. I was like, okay. So, whew, life is beautiful, and whew. Prayers and healing.
Okay, beautiful.
Thank you, Olmeca. That was awesome.
All right.
Love it. Thank
Love
you,
it.
Olmeca.
Thank you.
Thank
What a
you.
good way to
That
close
was
out
awesome.
2023 and move forward to 2024. So Marla, you want to close this out?
Well, I don't know how to follow that, but I will say, I wish you all the most fun choices in 2024. And that just make 2024 your year of choice and keep it up here. And if you hear yourself going back here, bring it back to the front.
Love it, love it. Thank you so much. And to all of you, happy holidays, Merry Christmas.
Yes,
And next year we'll come back and reflect on all this.
we'll reflect on our reflection.
That was amazing,
Exactly.
Rebecca. Thank you.
Yeah, Olmeca, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
We'll
you.
see you next week. Okay, bye-bye.
Peace.
Take care. Enjoy your day. Peace.